So hey, it's Exition again, and I'm back making a few new videos for my server. I intend for these videos to explain some of the plugins that I'm using on my server. I'm definitely not going to cover every plugin, but I want to cover some of the ones that are probably a little bit more important. This particular video will be over McMMo. Some of you avid Minecraft server players are probably already aware of this plugin, but for those of you who are not, this is probably the video for you. It's not going to be a very action-packed video. It's just going to mainly me standing here going over the individual skills. But yeah, I'll try to make this as painless and rambleless as possible. So to start off, you type MC stats to see all the available skills to you. When you join the server, you won't have all of these skills. You'll choose a class, and then that class has only specific skills. So basically, like an archer has archery, but it doesn't have axes or swords, and so on and so forth. I'm not gonna go in detail with all these. I'll just type them in, and you can kind of read the screen and see what they do. But I'll give a little basic description. Also, excavation is something I don't use on here, so I will not go over that one. But I will start with fishing. You basically fish. The way you level up all these skills is you do what it says. Like for fishing, you fish. For mining, you mine, so on and so forth. If you want to level up your sword skills, you attack things with your sword. But for fishing, you basically have a chance of fishing up treasures. Those improve as you level up fishing. You have a chance of fishing up enchanted items, which that's a little new to me. And also you can basically cast your reel out and hit enemies with it, and you have a chance of stealing items from them. I believe I haven't really done that much, but yeah, you can do that with fishing. Mine has been improved since I've last used it on an older server. You have a passive chance of getting double loot, which increases with levels. You have an activated ability that increases your mining speed by a lot and gives you a triple drop chance, but only lasts a couple seconds. And then there's also a cooldown on all these activated abilities, by the way. You have a bonus to mining with TNT, which that's new to me as well. I believe you pop down a TNT by some ore, blow it up, and you might get like double or triple ores. I don't know, I need to test that. And you can also increase your TNT explosion radius and decrease damage from TNT. So that's mining for you. Wood cutting is pretty simple. There's not really much to that one. You can just have a chance of getting double wood when you chop trees down, and the activated ability pretty much just destroys the tree in one hit. So on to miscellaneous skills. You have acrobatics, which basically allows you to passively negate fall damage or reduce fall damage. Also, when you fall, if you hold shift, you have a chance of doing a graceful roll, which is just twice as effective as a normal roll. And you also have a built-in dodge chance, which I think occurs mainly when you're in combat. You just, if your dodge kicks in, then you take 50% reduced damage. Also, you have a repair skill, which that's pretty self-explanatory too, and I can actually kind of show that one. You basically can repair anything with durability, and the way you do that is you use like the main item that it took to craft that item. So basically a stone sword, you use cobblestone. So what you do is you walk up to an iron block, which is for McMMo it is an anvil. And you hold the broken item in your hand, and you got to make sure you have the items too, but they can just be in your inventory, it doesn't really matter. And then you right click, and as you can see, the durability went up. As you level this skill, you'll be able to increase how much durability you gain every time you repair, and you also have a chance of keeping your enchantments on items. So that can be pretty useful, especially when you think about what does it take, like 8 diamonds to make a diamond chest plate. It can get to the point where you just use 1 diamond to fully repair your diamond chest plate, and that really saves you on materials. Now to start on the combat skills, we'll start with swords. Swords is basically, it has a built-in counter attack, which allows you to reflect 50% of damage you just taken, and it also has an activated ability that allows you to do a 25% damage AoE, plus it does a bleed AoE. And then you also have a built-in passive chance to apply bleed to enemies. Axes have been improved quite a bit since I've used them, and I like the improvement. You are a more efficient killer with the axes now. Let's see, you have your activated ability, which is just an AoE damage. You have a passive chance to do critical strikes, which is just double damage right there. And you also have axe mastery built in, which as you level up your axe skill, you'll naturally do more damage with axes. And now there's two new abilities, which are new to me, which are impact, to where you do what is impact? You do additional 5 bonus damage to players wearing armor, and then there's also greater impact, to where you do additional 2 bonus damage to unarmored foes. And I think that applies to like all monsters, because I think monsters technically are unarmored. So next we have archery, and that's changed just a little bit, but not much. You have built-in bonus damage to archery. You gain extra damage as you level up archery. You have a chance to daze, which is PvP oriented. Basically, when that kicks in, you deal an extra 4 damage to the player, plus you disorient them. Excuse me. And what that does is basically messes up their point of view. And you also have arrow retrieval built into this skill, which is however many arrows you hit them with, you have a chance of getting all those back. We have unarmed as well as a combat skill. Excuse me, let's type that right. Which basically you do bonus damage with just your fist. You also have a chance of deflecting arrows, and you also have a built-in disarm chance, which basically what that does is when that kicks in and you're fighting a player, whatever current weapon they're using or holding, you will disarm it. And I think that means that you make them drop it on the ground to where you could potentially steal it from them. All those percentages pretty much go up with levels, as well as your bonus damage to unarmed. That goes up with leveling as well, because I remember when I first started off, I think it was like +2 damage, but now it's +4. And I believe the last one we have on here is taming, and right now I only have that doubled up with archery. Only archers get taming. And this basically improves your wolf by a lot. I think this stuff applies to cats too, but I gotta admit I don't use cats. I never have, so I'm not too sure on that. But you know, someone else can test that. But basically, the more you level up taming, you can give your wolf a chance to cause bleed, to do extra damage, to reduce damage from a lot of different sources like cactus, lava, stuff like that. You can also make it to where your wolf can heal itself every time it attacks, and I believe one other one is Beastler, which you automatically come with that. If you have a bone in your hand, you can left click your wolf and it'll inspect it to see how much health it has. So I believe I covered all the skills. I know not too thoroughly, but you can kind of pretty much just look at the screen. But as I said, when you join, you'll be able to pick a class, and I did that just to put a little bit of variety in PvP. I don't want everybody having every skill. That's kind of cheap and boring. But for the most part, that's pretty much it for this one. The next plugin videos I'm going to make are going to be a lot more entertaining. You're going to actually see me do stuff and use the plugins, not just stand here and talk. But as always, thanks for watching, and see you all later.